Hey guys, welcome to Sippin' and Spillin' with Sid from 3 Mississippi. I hope you're having a good day today. Man, it's been a little bit of a crazy week. It's definitely kept me on my toes. I had mentioned to you guys that Frankie was going to be gone for the weekend. Mike and I were going to have some time, just the two of us. And we actually had one of our YouTube meetings that we have, YouTube / like things that we need to hit next on our farm list of things that we need to do, and just kind of like, sit down and figure it out kind of thing. And then Saturday, we did that Friday night, and Saturday, Frankie called me one day into Discipleship Now, and she's like, I'm sick. And this was at like 3 a.m. And I'm like, what kind of sick? Like, I'm thinking, did she eat something? Is her stomach upset? Anyway, I went and picked her up when she finally got back to me, and at like 8 something in the morning, and took her to the urgent care, and they tested her, and she had flu A. So poor little baby was not feeling well. She had like 103.6 or 7 fever when I took her to the urgent care. She was not feeling great, and apparently like half the school is sick. Most of the town is sick, but the whole school, like most of the kids are absent this week so far because of it. And she's doing much better today. I was able to, like Friday, I guess she only had a little bit of a headache later in the day, and just was feeling a little run down, but didn't think that she was like sick. She just thought, oh, I'm sleepy and I have a headache, like whatever. But turns out she had more. And so anyway, unfortunately, she's been home in bed since then. She did, her fever broke pretty quickly. The urgent care gave her that Zofloxacin stuff, that one pill you take for the flu. And it helped tremendously. And she slept a lot and whatever. But late yesterday, she started campaigning to come out of her room. And I was like, look, you're sick. I don't want you to get your dad sick. I don't want you touching everything in the house. Like, stay in your room. I brought her all her meals. She went to the bathroom, of course. And most of the time it was fine, because every time I go in there, she was like passed out or had just woken up, and I would bring her water and food and, check on her and give her her meds and all that stuff. Take her temperature again. But she's been fever free now for over 24 hours, which is good. So she wants to go back to school tomorrow. She's got more energy today. She's feeling fine. So that's not bad. From Saturday to today's Tuesday, that's not bad for somebody to recover from the flu. And she looked awful. Like, you could tell she was really sick. So now I'm just hoping that Mike and I don't get it, specifically me, because I was the nursemaid going in and out so much. But I was like feverishly washing my hands and keeping my distance from her and that kind of thing. I mean, I did the mom thing where I checked her temperature and stuff, but kept my distance. But she seems much better today. So she's going to go back to school tomorrow, and do that. But it definitely threw the week off a little bit. The things that we thought we were going to be able to kind of do, not so much. Mike was working on, and then we got rain on Saturday. No, not Saturday. We got rain on, what day was it? Sunday. Yeah, Sunday it rained. So we didn't get to finish the beginning of our brooder project. We cleared out the area where we're putting it and moved some gravel and things. You guys will see that on this Friday's video, kind of the beginning stages of getting the brooder ready. And then Sunday we were supposed to dig the holes and pour the footers, and get those laid out in the concrete forms and stuff. And then it just rained and rained and rained. And so we're like, well, we're not doing that. So he went and butchered deer for a while that he had that were ready to for the next step. So he's like, oh, I'm just going to work on that in the shop for a while then. So he got a lot of that done. He still has a little bit left to do, but it's mostly finished, because he added another deer to that. By the way, the pile of deer has grown. So I think he's up to 4 deer in there now. So it's a lot to be working on at once. And he's like, I'd go deer hunting again, but right now I'm out of freezer space and like time to like get it all done before it would like spoil. So he's like, I can't go get another one right now. But that's all right. I think we have enough deer to last us for a minute. Um, so no complaints there. And then Friday, I'm excited. I'm going to be driving to Alabama for like a few hours away. It's like a 3.5 hour drive. We have been telling you guys we've been wanting to start our sheep flock, and we were just waiting on a couple of things to kind of get done, one of which being the big pasture to start them out in. We are going to be rotationally grazing them on the big pasture, but we wanted to start them out in a smaller area where we could really introduce them to the livestock guardian dogs and kind of like work with them a little bit before we get them all out there together. So we found a beautiful ram. He's 12 weeks old. He's just absolutely beautiful. He's a Katahdin, which is a hair breed of sheep, so they don't need to be sheared. And we're not doing this for wool, we're doing it for meat and to sell. So we don't want the wool, and I don't want to have to mess with shearing them and all of that fun stuff. This particular breed is also more parasite resistant. There's a lot of benefits to this breed of sheep, and we've done a lot of research over it over the last couple of years of like which breed of sheep. We even looked at some of the crosses that have become popular for different reasons, but we decided we really wanted to stay with just the Katahdin and kind of just only work on raising those. And Mike had gone back and forth too on, do we get a ram? Do we not get a ram? Do we do AI? Do we do this? And we kind of went back and forth a lot on it. I have been very pro, we need a ram from the beginning for a couple of reasons. Where we live, there's not a lot of Katahdin sheep breeders, number one. And so there's not like with cattle where you can just get an AI to come by and AI your girls for you, right? It's just not as prevalent out here. And so he was worried. He's like, well, I have to have a separate paddock because we have to keep them separate. And I was like, well, yeah, but I can put him with Dan and we could put them in a separate paddock and they'll be fine. Like, so anyway, I got him convinced of that after many attempts. I think he realized that was probably going to be the better route to go. And because we're starting small, we're only going to have 5 to 10 ewes in the beginning, as I can find them. Our goal is to do our first breeding next season. So like probably in like November, and be able to get them bred for dropping in the spring, so for lambing. So I think that time frame will work out well if I can find the ewes. I'm working on it. I did find some, well, I should take that back. They don't exist yet. They're not on the pasture yet, but they should have some ready at another farm in like 12 to 16 weeks. Or 16 weeks. That one was 16 weeks. So I may be reaching back out to them to see about getting some ewes. There is another place down the road that's not too far. It's just a little under an hour away that I may try to reach out to. But it's going to be one of those door knock situations because they don't have a sign out front or anything like that. And I hate doing door knocks like that, but sometimes you have to. So I'm still working. I have some like messages out to people to see if I can find some. But this particular ram, he's, like I said, 3.5 hours away. So I think Beth is going to come with me on Friday to go drive out to Alabama and pick up this boy, this 12-week-old boy, which I'm really excited about. I've missed having sheep, and this is sort of like exciting for me because as much as I love the birds, I don't get excited about raising the Cornish cross. They're not really fun to raise. They're not like known for their personalities. Like they're just sort of like a means to an end for me. They're just sort of like, this is one of the things that I have to do and raise in order for us to like function. And so I raise them, but I don't particularly enjoy it. I like the end result, but the actual process of raising them, they're not a hoot. And if you've ever raised Cornish cross, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They're just, not the bestest. I did find a place that's not too far that does the American breast meat birds, and I said this last year, but I do need a separate area to keep them. So we may get into that in the future. We just have to get, coming here with having no animal structures established and not sufficient fencing in some cases on the property. We've really had to work on infrastructure since we got here to be able to even have what we have now. So I'm thinking, maybe a little bit further down the road, I'll be able to do the American Bresse or Bresse. I know some people say Bresse, some people say Bresse. Supposedly Bresse is correct. I don't know. I never took French in high school. I took Spanish. Olé. So anyway, it is what it is. But we'll see. We might get into that. But I'm excited to have the lamb and have this boy come to live with us and start to get adjusted. So it's going to be a long day on Friday. It's going to be, probably, I'll be towing the trailer. So it'll be about, 8 hours probably in the truck. And I did talk to the gal, Sarah is her name. And I said, is it okay if I film while we're there? I told her we have a YouTube, and she was like, yeah, that's fine, go ahead. So I've never had anybody get weird with me about it. I always ask first. Very rarely have I had situations where I've shown up and just been like, oh, do you mind if I film? I usually give people a heads up just because some people think it's weird and some people, but most of the time nowadays, I've never had anybody be like, no, please don't film. The worst I've had people say is oh, just don't film over here. This is messy over here, or this is a project, or don't show this because we shouldn't be here and it's illegal. I don't know. You sometimes get that, but so we'll see on Friday how that goes. So a little road trip to get our boy, and I was kicking around names, in my head, and so I'm thinking, I haven't talked to Mike about it yet. Not that he would care because, the raising of the sheep is sort of my thing. But Katahdin means greatest mountain, right? So I was thinking okay, cool. What's some of the greatest mountains? And so I was thinking from the Bible. So I was well, I could do Sinai and call him Si. So I think I might call him Si, Moses bringing down the tablets. I was thinking that might be kind of cool to do Sinai and then call him Si. Because the boy is the only one that's going to be outside of our breeding ewes, once we get them, he'll be the only one that's the one that I know, I could spot right away. You know what I mean? That I could name, and he will be with us for indefinitely. So, probably won't be naming when we get to 10 ewes. I probably won't name them all. They'll probably just have their tags. But I will be. I think I will be naming him just because he's going to be the only boy for the foreseeable future. Eventually, we may add another ram as the production grows, but for now, he'll be the only boy. He'll be hanging out with Dan, my weathered goat, but hopefully they play nice together. I think they will. Dan's pretty chill, so I think they'll be all right. I know that there'll be a little bit of friction once I separate them, just because Dan's very attached to his mom and his sister, because they've really only ever just been together. And same with the dogs. The dogs are so used to having him there that might be a little bit of an issue too. But, we'll see how it goes. It'll be an adventure. But they're also all very good at adjusting to change. So I think we'll get there eventually. It's just going to take a little bit of time for them to really get on board, as it were, right? We'll see. So that's where we're at right now. That's what's happening. As you guys are seeing this, it's Wednesday. We've got our live tonight, so make sure you join us for our live. Maybe I'll bring Frankie out for the live, since I'm not going to send her to youth on Wednesday night, just because she's freshly new and she might out of her flu-ness, and after being at school, she might be tired. Maybe I'll just drag her out until live. We'll see. Because we did get a package, which we haven't opened because Frankie's been sick. And so when I was going to film it, and she's obviously been very under the weather, so I didn't want to film her while she looked like a big old snot rag. But we'll see. So we'll see. Maybe we'll do that on Wednesday night, at least for part of the live. Maybe I can talk her into it. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. I hope you're having a fabulous halfway through your week so far. I hope things are going smoothly for you. I hope you're staying healthy and not getting the flu. Type A, B, C, D, or F, or bird, or whatever. And as always, guys, stay blessed and safety's off.